Okay, well, I hope they're not going to blacklist me. Those motherfuckers. So what are we going to do now? Gotta be careful now. Need to play it safe. Something nice and safe. Yeah, well, sorry about that. We were robbed. That should be fucking public property, shouldn't it? I mean, isn't the whole point that he's betrayed the public? Now we can't even watch his video where he's being a dick. I would go out in London in what I would describe as a business attire. And those were fake arms. To some extent, it would be a considerable stretch to say that we were very, 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 very good friends. Okay, we need the chat. That's what we need. Gotta set it up. Gotta set it all up. Boom. Spacey dove. Where? I see no doves. Crazy doves. Somewhere. Ah, there. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah. So we got chopped. Space. We got totally chopped. BBC. Supposed to be public material. Anyway, the prince. The former prince doesn't want us talking about him and all of what he did. And the people he did it to. Yeah, that's not allowed. So we need something new. We need something safe. We need something we know we're not going to get blacklisted. Because there are dangers. We could lose it all. So, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Yeah, well, we can't play channel 4. "60 Minutes, no. BBC, no. They're all, I don't know, maybe we should just do something else. Why don't we see this lady again? I mean, how would you feel if you went away for murder? Attempted murder. I don't think he died, thank God. Attempted murder, but still, she's going away forever. But one of the last things that you did, the thing that you'll be remembered for most, aside from the murder, over the murder. People get bored of murder, but this will never be forgotten. Oh no, don't put it on that one.
And quick meals are my specialty. I know that you don't have all day. We've got mouths to feed. Welcome to my kitchen, where I really like to cook, but I'm often short on time, so speed is the hook. I'll show you how to make a meal in almost no time flat. Takes less than half an hour, and you'll have it down pat. The recipe's from Kraft, who makes fantastic tasty stuff.
It's too much. I can't do it anymore. I need to turn it off. What a terrible, terrible thing that was. Okay, we need some programming. Urgent programming. We need backup programming. Safe programming. Non-copyright programming. Well, there's a couple of things. I'm just a bit nervous to do the Andrew stuff because I don't know if there's going to be like a copyright strike, and those are dangerous. That means something. Wendi before she plumped up. Is that your way of saying Katie won? Okay, Wendi? I mean, yeah. Wendi? Oh, I see what you're saying. She looks like Wendi. Okay, right. That's not a suggestion. Metrix, you can always pull up some old Charlie, Donna, Wendi stuff. Well, okay. I mean, that's always a safe bet, isn't it? Let's do that then. But what? How about... You know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see Donna's sentencing where she started reading out the... where is the evidence? That thing. This is it.
Lectern or here?
She can remain at council table.
Thank you. I'm going to move the mic.
Yeah, there's just something quite homely and safe feeling about going into an Adelson trial, isn't there? Everyone, knows where they are, and it's just like it's very comfortable in here.
I need to speak loudly because this is not amplified.
Can you imagine when she was writing this out and practicing it in her cell, looking into the reflective stainless steel of her own toilet bowl that she sleeps next to? Where is the evidence?
Okay. Is this loud enough, Judge?
I can hear you.
Thank you for letting me speak. My son...
You don't have narrow ear canals, do you, Judge? I don't think Judge Everett has narrow anything.
Son-in-law Dan Markell was a fine and decent man. He was well educated and passionate about his career. He was a good son-in-law.
I suppose fine and decent man is a step up from Charlie's. So what did you think about Dan Markell? Little on the nerdy, nice guy. He was always nice to me.
But more importantly, he was a caring and loving father. And I speak. My son-in-law Dan Markell was a fine and decent man. He was well educated and passionate about his career. He was a good son-in-law, but more importantly, he was a caring and loving father. On July 18th, 2014, his car was followed, leaving his home. It should have been just like any other day, an ordinary day.
It should have been just like any other day, by. 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, 8 days, 9 days, 10 days, 11 days, 12 days, 13 days, 14 days, 15 days, 16 days, 17 days, 18 days, 19 days, 20 days, 21 days, 22 days, 23 days, 24 days, 25 days, 26 days, 27 days, 28 days, 29 days, 30 days, 31 days, 32 days, 33 days, 34 days, 35 days, 36 days, 37 days, 38 days, 39 days, 40 days, 41 days, 42 days, 43 days, 44 days, 45 days, 46 days, 47 days, 48 days, 49 days, 50 days, 51 days, 52 days, 53 days, 54 days, 55 days, 56 days, 57 days, 58 days, 59 days, 60 days, 61 days, 62 days, 63 days, 64 days, 65 da The sun shone down from above, and the wind blew through the Tallahassee, what do you call those things? Those funny trees they have.
In the life of Ben and Lincoln's father, but it wasn't. He didn't know when he left his boys off at daycare that would be the last time he would see them, and the last time they would see him. He didn't know when he went to the gym afterwards that would be the last time he would exercise. And
he didn't know when he went to the gym this morning that would be the last time he would exercise. And that was her preferred choice over he didn't know. You know, another version could have been, he didn't know when he dropped off his beloved sons that morning that would be the last time he would ever see them. No. Yeah. I think the exercise thing would have more impact. That'd really, hit people in their emotional core. God, that's the last time I'll ever exercise. Damn it. I was so looking forward to exercising again tomorrow and the next day. But that was it.
he didn't know when he drove.
It's not the thing. People usually draw on family, particularly children, when they're trying to make that kind of point, that emotional draw. They don't often go to exercise and the gym. It's like saying, he didn't know that when he closed the refrigerator door that day, that would be the last time he ever drank milk out of the carton.
Home. That his life would end within minutes. Danny wasn't just being followed, he was being hunted. He was brutally murdered in broad daylight, sitting in his car.
Yeah, by you fucker.
In his garage by vicious killers. I cannot imagine the terror he felt when he saw a gun pointed at him through the window of his car. I cannot conceive of his heroic efforts to stay alive during the hours after the attack. Danny died in the early morning hours of July 19th. His death is a loss to his children, his parents, his sister, all of us in his family, his friends, his colleagues in the legal community, and to his students at FSU Law School. Danny's boys each have a photo of themselves with their Abba, their dad, beside their beds. They grew up kissing the framed photo and saying, "Good night, Abba, I love you." But pictures and memories are all they have because cruel, cold-hearted people took him from all of us who loved him. My heart was broken when Danny died. My grandsons were going to grow up without the father who loved them. I wondered, how could we help these boys through this trauma? It was then that my husband and I knew that the best way to honor Danny's memory would be to share with these children an abundance of love.
The best way for us to honor Danny's memory would be to give the boys our last name. And do away with that middle name, too.
The love that Danny would have given them if he were alive. It is interesting how the state can't make up its mind about who is what they call the, quote, mastermind behind this murder. In both of Catherine Magbanow's trials, the state...
we're not saying that anymore. Mastermind. Who is there a mastermind? Anywhere in the case? Well, if Jeff really did kill Professor Markel and set this whole thing up, that would be a mastermind. But, you know, that's not really what happened. So.
It claims
that's just in the cool fucking movie alternate ending version.
she was the mastermind behind Danny's murder. In my son Charlie Adelson's trial,
Donna, honey, the jury weren't asked who was the mastermind. That's not really part of anything. It doesn't matter. It's not part of the charges. The charges are murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and solicitation to commit murder, all in the first degree.
they claimed he was the mastermind. And now in my trial, they claimed that I, this grandma, was the mastermind behind the murder. I had no idea that other people planned to cut Danny's life short. And the people who did this are exactly where they deserve to be. But I had no knowledge that this horrible, evil act was going to take place. If I had become aware of this plan before Danny was murdered, I would have stopped it. With not one iota of action.
How would you have done that? If I had become aware of this plan before Danny was murdered, I would have stopped it. All right, but how? You're saying you don't know who did it. Charlie's saying he didn't know who did it. What would you have done to stop it? You couldn't have called the police because you didn't know them. You couldn't give a name. Because you're saying you didn't know. It's just this hypothetical. But again, the hypothetical, even with the hypothetical, in what way would she have stopped it without it being her family?
Actual evidence. The state convinced a Tallahassee jury that I solicited and conspired with other people to have Danny killed. Where
Yeah, and it didn't take long. It was quicker than Charlie.
is the evidence prior to the murder? The evidence beyond a reasonable doubt that the state needed to prove their case. Where is the evidence before July 8th?
Hey, Donna, what's with the tone? You a minute ago you were all, he was hunted like an animal and he would never exercise again. And now you're like this indignant, you know. Before the murder, dipshit judge, corrupt judge, biased judge.
18th, 2014 at 10:50 in the morning.
Before you continue,
That
Mrs.
revealed-
Adelson,
Oh, this is
as
so
it relates
brutal.
to this statement, is the defense trying to re-argue the trial?
No, Judge, just giving Sagelson an opportunity to be heard.
Mrs.
That-
Adelson, please proceed if you desire to do so.
I'd have probably stopped right there. I'm done. Thank you for letting me speak. Yeah. That's not a good sign at sentencing, isn't it? You are free to continue, but I have to make you aware that the court will consider the complete, utter lack of remorse that you are displaying. Yeah. Tell us again about Dan being a, what was it? Kind, decent man or something. It was better than a little on the nerdy, nice guy. Hey, and how it was on the other chat, I think. But Sally, thank you, Mr. Pinto Peabody, for the super chat. We appreciate it, Pinto. Very kind.
Where is the evidence before July 18th, 2014 at 10:50 a.m. that revealed that I had any involvement in this vile and horrific act?
And you know she's got that underlined in her writing, right? Any. Remember to emphasize that I had any involvement before the murder.
Where is the solicitation and conspiracy evidence? The state needed to show that there was evidence before the murder to convict me. The state couldn't show that because there wasn't any evidence. They were trying an innocent person. It makes you wonder if the jurors were sleeping when the state had Sergeant Corbett on the stand for hours. Their own star witness testified that my phone was never, I repeat, never at my son's house on the night of the murder. The state's theory that my husband and I dropped off money to my son was blown out of the water by their own witness. And yet, the state continued to push that story.
Whoa. She's going all the way, but I want to catch that bit. What was it? The state's own witness? And then just catch her eyes when she, the state's own witness.
Murder to convict me. The state couldn't show that because there wasn't any evidence. They were trying an innocent person. It makes you wonder if the jurors were sleeping when the state had Sergeant Corbett.
They were trying an innocent person. That's always what happens, because until they're proven guilty, they're innocent. Right? Innocent until proven guilty. I mean, everybody who goes on trial is being tried, yes, as a defendant, but they're deemed innocent until they're only guilty when the jury come back and say they're guilty. She lacks real basic, and Charlie as well. I mean, with Charlie, I would expect him to not have a fucking clue about anything, or even, think that he might want to take the time to get a book from the jail library, or maybe they don't have one in the detention center when you're awaiting trial. There's many options, but you can order things, or on a tablet. He had a tablet, right? Maybe spend less time whinging on the phone and just familiarize yourself with the most basic principles of courtroom operation, trial operation, right? A few bits of terminology might come in handy. You're on trial for murder. You're sitting doing fuck all for 18 months in a box with a tablet. A little bit of research, 10 minutes a day. You do a lot with 10 minutes a day in 18 months.
On the stand for hours. Their own star witness.
But with Donna, it's a little more surprising, isn't it? I mean, you'd think she'd have some fucking nous about her. Even the slightest little bit. Her only intelligence is very similar to Wendi, because Wendy's thick as shit, right? Nothing upstairs. As far as understanding anything, all she understands is how to be a sneak, a horrible sneak. And Donna just understands how to be this, I'm gonna get you back, I'm gonna fucking I'm gonna get even with you, motherfucker. What a way to spend your life. Let it go.
testified that my phone was never, I repeat, never at my son's house on the night of the murder. The state's theory that my husband and I dropped off money to my son was blown out of the water by their own witness. And yet, the state continued to push that story, that lie of the so-called money drop, to the jury through the remainder of the trial. And the jury bought into it, hook, line, and sinker. Reasonable doubt. Many months ago, my attorneys filed a motion for a change of venue. An expert witness testified that Tallahassee had been barraged with over 9 years of negative social media, printed news, television news, and podcast publicity about my family. He explained to the court, both with evidence and demonstratives, that for me to receive a fair trial, it needed to be held in any of the...
Is she talking about Rashbaum here? Is she actually doing a throwback to, like, my attorney provided evidence and demonstratives? I gotta hear it again.
Because there wasn't any evidence. They were trying an innocent person. It makes you wonder if the jurors were sleeping when the state had Sergeant Corbett on the stand.
No, Donna, they're from Tallahassee. They're like that when they're awake.
And for hours, their own star witness testified that my phone was never, I repeat, never at my son's house on the night of the murder. The state's theory that my husband and I dropped off money to my son was blown out of the water by their own witness. And yet, the state continued to push...
Hook, line, and sinker. I mean, yeah, that's just one of those phrases that goes with Donna's vernacular, which is always her tell when she's claiming somebody else said something. There's always this, like, folksy... Well, is it folksy? It's like old-timey. It's old-timey language. Hook, line, and sinker. Sitting very pretty. You want those pretty white teeth knocked out? You're gonna give me commissary. You're gonna get me so much commissary.
Push that story, that lie of the so-called money drop, to the jury through the remainder of the trial. And the jury bought into it, hook, line, and sinker. Reasonable doubt. Many months ago, my attorneys filed a motion for a change of venue. An expert witness testified that Tallahassee had been barraged with over 9 years of negative social media, printed news, television news, and podcast publicity about my family. He explained to the court, both with evidence and demonstratives, that for me to receive a fair trial, it needed to be held in any of the researched and designated areas in the state of Florida other than Tallahassee. All I wanted was a level playing field, but the court wanted the trial here, in the hotbed of Tallahassee. I sat through 3 days of jury selection. 180 potential jurors were asked if they had developed an opinion in my case. Those that answered yes also added, "I believe she is guilty." Not one person, not one, said, "I think she may be innocent." That should have been a clue to the court to grant our motion for a change of venue, but the court denied the motion. One of my jurors admitted during jury selection that she had background information concerning what one of the state's witnesses would be testifying about. Why was she allowed to be on my jury?
What moment?
Another juror...
Mrs. Fulford,
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Mr. Zell.
And what you're forgetting, Donna, is that the arrangement with the court is that if Judge Everett grants that kind of motion, that he has to give up 2 of his emergency candy bars that he keeps in a secret cupboard in Chambers. So he's, got a predisposition to not do that. You'd have to really be convincing.
Gentlemen, again, this has nothing to do with elocution of any sort. This is a raising of grievances, which are properly given to the appellate court. What does any of this have to do with sentencing?
Could I have just one moment, please?
I was just thinking that, Neville Dallin, who says, Donna wrote Uffman's arguments for Charlie's appeal word by word. Yeah, I was just thinking that this whole thing was, a chunk of it at least, was right on what Charlie's thing was. Yeah, Charlie's Uffman appeal case was argument. Maria.
Turn that phone off or step out.
Ooh. I bet you wouldn't fucking say that if it was the, muffin oven. The judge's muffins are ready. Bring me those muffins or step out.
When the phone is off. Please.
What do you think the process would be to patent that head? You know what I'd like to do with it? At first I was thinking lampshade. But no. I'd like to make a mug out of his head. Not like a regular shaped mug and just print a flat image on it, but actually, a molded mug, novelty mug. But you just slice off his head and you make that look tasteful. And you drink your coffee or whatever it is, or your tea, herbal tea, out of the top of his head. You telling me that wouldn't sell? Of course that would sell. I mean, he strikes me as the kind of guy that if you approached him in the right, if it was for charity, mean, it'd be worth doing even if it didn't make any money, if it was going to be a hit. And you could also raise money for charity that the judge would support using his image. He'd be on the front page, Tallahassee Democrat, holding the mug of himself, drinking a nice warm beverage out of his own head. That'd be brilliant. That's just the kind of thing to raise his profile and help him on the way to get that, next time at the appellate judge that he went for, but they didn't. They said, yeah, man, too easily swayed by a tray of sweets. Come back in a year. But this thing about the head mug, I can just see it now. Judge mugs. I hope I at least have a dream about that one day. Judge Everett drinking out of a molded mug of himself.
What happened to Danny is unforgivable. But I am an innocent woman convicted of this terrible crime without evidence. Danny was a brilliant legal scholar. He would have been appalled at the total lack of justice that went on during my trial. He would have been embarrassed to have his name associated with any of it. There are 2 crimes here. The first was Danny being viciously murdered. The second one is taking my life, the life of an innocent woman. Convicting me should not be retribution for Danny's death. That is not justice for Dan. I've always respected the law. I've never gotten a parking ticket, but I'm going to prison for a murder I did not commit.
I've never paid one because my husband has a connection at the what would it be? The DMV. Or actually, it's something different in Florida. It's something crazy. They love to do that, don't they?
I do intend to file an appeal so that hopefully I have the opportunity to be given a fair trial outside of Tallahassee. 11 years ago, Danny was murdered and taken from all of us who loved him. For the past 9.5 years, the state has broadcast to the world, including Danny's parents and sister, that I hired hitmen to kill him. More than life itself. This is a lifetime of loss for these children. They didn't deserve this.
I love these boys more than anything else, and I also loved presenting them at their well-to-do, swanky extracurricular activities such as piano and tennis.
His family didn't deserve this. Danny didn't deserve this. And so, as I appear before you today, Your Honor, I promise you with...
Your what now? Your life? What, all of the 4 years that you've got left? You gonna use all of those at once? You're gonna swear on every one of them, or just... How about your children's lives? They all fucking hate you. Oh, what a crackerjack. Crazy lady. I swear to you, Danny was a good, kind man who loved exercise. He didn't know that day when he left that gym that it would be the last time he'd ever sit on a stationary exercise bicycle, or while staring at fit women's asses. He loved the gym. I think that's the real reason people go, isn't it? She loves to show off like they were hers. She stole them from Dan. She's disgusting. She is. And so is all the food that she has to eat now. No tears anymore. Were there any in the beginning? I don't know that there were. What else? Something else. Adelson. It's kind of good to be back, right? Good to be back with. What about Harvey goes off on Florida judge? I wonder what he says in private to his friends about the judge.
Do you wish to enter these letters into evidence?
Yes, Judge.
Does the state have any objections?
No, Your Honor.
They will be composite.
There's Mr. Worldwide. Look at him there. Yeah, no, I can set my watch to 6 different continents, 6 different time zones. So I've got Beijing, New York, Paris, Istanbul, and Rome, all on one little watch.
Defense 1 for sentencing.
Thank you, Judge.
Dr. Adelson, please raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes, I do.
You can lower your hand. You may speak.
Thank you, Judge, and respected officers of the court for allowing me to speak. I have been Donna Adelson's husband for over 50 years. My wife sacrificed everything.
And I didn't have much hair back then either. I have less now, obviously, but yeah, never really had that much.
So that she could pour her heart and soul into our children, our grandchildren, and our marriage. This summer was our 54th wedding anniversary, and I had to spend it without her, hand in mine. She has done nothing wrong, and yet is being punished for a crime that she did not commit. I thought we lived in a different kind of world, but I guess I was wrong.
You were wrong. So do you need a taxi, or you can go and be wrong at the airport? Get out of town. You don't belong here.
I have listened, watched, and sat in the courtroom for the entire trial. I didn't know that you could lie in a courtroom, but apparently you can. Danny's parents...
Well, you can. Like, the only people that are under oath are the witnesses. I mean, the lawyers have duty to be I don't know what the line is. There's some duty to be not deliberately misleading or whatever, but you can say things that aren't facts. That's the whole thing about closing arguments. What the lawyers say is not fact. It doesn't have to be.
Contend that they have never seen...
They're allowed to say what they say. I mean, they could present a theory that's fictional to the jury, that they made up. Or maybe not made up, but assumed was correct. I guess that wouldn't be untrue then. No, you know, they're allowed to not always...
Their grandchild. But for years they say they've never seen her. But Wendi has shared with me pictures and videos and letters from their visits. They have suffered immensely at the loss of their son, but they also contend to tell lies to the court about our grandchildren. Donna has always been a loving and caring wife, and is innocent.
A little shaky there, Harvey, didn't we? Can you imagine the glare, the hungry barbecue glare that Judge Everett gave him?
Relates to sentencing.
May I just one moment, please?
Go ahead.
I'll continue.
Just 1 second, please.
Crossing everything out. Yeah. Delete this where it's calling him a motherfucker.
Just 1 second, please.
Don't call the judge a motherfucker.
All right, thank you for letting me continue.
Okay, I'll lose motherfucker, but can I keep corrupt fucking asshole?
Donna did not participate in the heinous acts that she was convicted of doing. You are sending an innocent woman to prison. You have taken my wife and you have taken my life as well. And for what? This is not justice. It is vengeance. And
For what? For what? These people have the nerve to incorporate a two-worded question such as, for what? That's a good question. It's a good question. For what? So your bitch daughter could go and slut around Miami and you could look after her kids. Uh-huh. Doesn't really seem like a good deal.
it is wrong.
Do you have an examination for Dr. Abelson?
No, Your Honor. No, Judge.
Any other witness statements that you wish to give?
I don't believe so. Just 1 second. We don't have any further witnesses, Judge, but Mrs. Adelson has decided she would like to make an unsworn statement to the court.
Unsworn?
Yes, Judge.
Well, we've seen that.
All of the witnesses will be sworn this afternoon if she wishes to speak.
Judge, the case law indicates, confirms that the defendant has the right to make an unsworn statement prior to sentencing. The court, Rule 3.720B states the court shall entertain submissions and evidence by the parties that are relevant to the sentence. A number of cases, Your Honor, that have interpreted this, especially in a capital case, as the defendant having a right to make an unsworn statement. This is a capital.
Please give the citations.
Yes, Your Honor. Excuse me. First is
Everyone can be seated. Please continue with your...
We did this already, didn't we? And it was horrible. We did this.
How long did you talk to him?
I don't remember.
Does 18 minutes sound incorrect?
That sounds reasonable.
Okay. Did you talk to him about other things other than just the TV?
Hold on to something, Neverly. Leave all the cutlery right where it is, okay?
I really don't remember what else I talked to him about, but probably maybe I would have asked him about his work, or we would have caught up.
Did you happen to mention Dan Markell's plans to go to New York the next day?
I don't see why I would have.
Did you have WhatsApp on your phone at that time?
I don't know if in 2014 I had WhatsApp. Now we use it for all the parent chats at school, so everybody seems to have it, but I don't know if...
I'm a simple woman, single mother, simple woman, and not slutty at all.
Everybody had it back in 2014.
What is WhatsApp?
WhatsApp is kind of an app you would use for texting.
Do you know if your brother Charlie had it at that time?
I have no idea if he had it at that time.
Did you ever communicate with Charlie through WhatsApp?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. If I had it at that time or if I had it later, I probably would.
Oh, hang on, Miss Kappelman. Did you not see that I just downturned my mouth and shook my head at the same time? Because what does that mean, Kappelman, sweetie? It means I don't know, and I don't want to commit, so fuck you.
Would have.
Just on the day of Dan Markell's murder?
No.
Did you ever communicate with her through WhatsApp?
No, I never communicated with her at all.
All right, let's talk about, well, you communicated with her on the beach.
I saw her in person, but I'm saying I never texted with her, called her. I never communicated via a device other than in person.
Her hand gestures, check this out. This is the Wendi shuffle, all right? This is going to catch on. This is going to be the moves.
Let's talk about, well, you communicated with her on the beach.
I saw her in person, but I'm saying I never texted with her, called her. I never communicated via a device other than in person.
Okay. What about when you were talking to your brother? Did she ever get on the phone and speak to you?
I don't think so.
Okay. I want to talk about where you went when you left your residence on the day of the murder. You tried to turn on to Trescott, and then you ended up where?
I went, I was supposed to go to a party that night, a Stock the Bar party, so I went...
Charades as well, or charades. Yeah, but I'm telling you, a proper choreographer could do something with that. Let's see it again. If it were charades, what would she be trying to say? See if we can break it down. So there's a point. So like, what could that word be? What, one word, 2 syllables, over. Yeah? Over. And then?
In person, but I'm saying I never...
Over... boxing.
Texted with her, called her. I never...
Overboxing phone call.
Never communicated via a device.
What's that? That's a bit like when you're shaking a baby, right? That's probably how she... That's the... That... If this were a... What do you call it? A tableau. This would be the baby shaker. So what have we got now? We've got... I forgot the first one. Overboxing phone baby shaker.
Device other than in person.
Okay. What about when you were talking to your brother? Did she ever get on the phone and speak to you?
I don't think so.
Okay. I want to talk about where you went when you left your residence on the day of the murder. You tried to turn on to Trescott, and then you ended up where?
I went... I was supposed to go to a party that night, a Stock the Bar party, so I went to a liquor store to pick up what they had asked for as the present for their party. So I went to the liquor store, I picked up the alcohol, I stopped, I think I got gas.
You know how like Wendy's mouth is always held open? I was just thinking whether that might be because that all that, what is it, collagen like all those collagen injections. I mean, it must add up the weight, and then they just start to fall open. Or maybe she actually has sucked that much dick that her lips are now just, permanently, what do you call it? Puffy? Pursed? It's 50-50.
Gas, and then I went to lunch to meet my friends.
And the liquor store purchase appears to have occurred at 12:49 based on the receipt. Do you have any reason to dispute that
No,
timing?
that sounds right.
Okay, and then from there to the restaurant?
Yes.
And where was the restaurant located?
Mosaic. I actually don't remember. I just remember I would go north on Thomasville Road.
All right.
And so it was.
And is the restaurant where law enforcement came to speak with you and you ended up going with them to the police station, right?
That's correct.
Right. Do you agree or disagree that there have been some financial benefits to you and your boys as a result of Dan's death?
I disagree.
When did you decide to change the names of your children from Markel to Adelson?
So after Danny's murder, there was a lot of news. It just hit the media, and there were news stories everywhere. And Nancy Grace on CNN put pictures of my boys with their faces unblurred, just pictures of them. Mm. And I was terrified. And so when they started school, I started school with my last name, thinking that would keep them safe, that they wouldn't be associated with the murder.
Wasn't the Adelson name in the press just
it
as
was
much
not in the
as
press.
Markel?
Not yet.
Do you agree that you legally changed the kids' names on July 6th of 2015?
That sounds right.
So it was actually a year after the homicide.
A year after.
Yeah, the Adelson name wasn't in the press until after your fucking idiot brother got followed into an Italian restaurant and had a whole conversation with someone about how they needed to kill who was behind this. Pretty much. Yeah. What is it? So help me God. This will be done. This will be done. I mean, Katie, I don't care what I spend. Yeah. No, we were talking about buying a boat. We was the price, it was always about the boat. I don't care how much the boat costs. This will be done.
When was the last time you talked to your mom? Did you talk to her today, yesterday?
I talked to her yesterday.
In her emails, and we referenced one of them while you've been here on the stand, she talks about you giving performances and playing roles. Did you discuss anything about what you would do here today in court with your mother?
No. I did not go to the crime scene on the day of the homicide.
Do you know who all was involved in the murder?
Well, I learned today, but at the time, no.
Okay. Have you ever privately confronted your brother about his role or possible role in the murder?
My attorney has advised me not to have conversations with anyone in my family about the case.
And probably not much point speaking to them about anything else either, right?
But you had a close relationship with your brother at the time of the murder, right?
I absolutely had a close relationship with my brother.
And how soon after the murder did your lawyer advise you not to talk to your family about it?
In 2016.
Okay, so what about the 2 years in between? Did you talk to him about it then?
I mean, I talked to him about the fact that a murder occurred, but I guess I don't understand the question you're asking me.
When did you first become aware that you might be a suspect in this case?
I mean, as the ex-wife, I assumed I was a suspect from the beginning.
What was your first thought when you were asked if anyone might have murdered Dan Markell for your benefit?
I thought, oh my God, maybe if I hadn't divorced him, he would still be alive. Maybe this is my fault because I complained to the wrong person. Maybe Danny gave a student a bad grade and they came after him. I just was trying to think of who possibly could have wanted to hurt him.
But you didn't say any of that before. I mean, the first thing you said was Charlie, right?
I don't think so.
Page 25 of your interview, line 5 through 15. Do you have any reason to dispute? Page 25, not 5 hours into it. You say Charlie might have done it, right?
Can I see, please?
You may. This is going to be tab 1, page 25.
What I say here is that he would never do it. Right under the highlighted part, I say no, he would never.
You need a copy?
No. Page 25, line 5 through 15. I mean, my brother, the one, his name is Charlie, the one I'm really close to. He makes a lot of jokes in that taste, and it was a joke he made. He bought the TV for me this morning that got broken, and then I was talking to him about whether it made sense to pay or fix it, or whether I should get a new one. And it was always his joke that, he knew that Danny always treated me badly, and it was always his joke. He said, I looked into hiring a hitman and it was cheaper to get you this TV, so instead I got you this TV. And you do say you don't think he would do it, but can we agree you brought up his name on page 25 of the interview?
I did.
And the biggest joke about it is that keeps getting brought up as this joke. I mean, it's been mentioned so many times that sometimes I find myself like, is it funny? Have I been so stupid that I don't get the joke? But of course that's not true, is it? But it's like you end up gaslighting yourself. Am I crazy? Have I just not understood this? But nobody understands. Because there's nothing to understand. It's not a joke. It would never be classified as a joke. It would never... In all seriousness, it's not credible to think that Charlie Adelson actually went round and told that, hey, guess what? Like he's telling a joke. That never happened. It doesn't make sense that would happen. Maybe he said it in front of Jeff. But that's different than this thing about him saying it every opportunity he gets to everybody on repeat.
When asked, would you ever ask someone to do something like this? You say not in a million years. When asked, okay, do you think someone would do this for your benefit without asking you? You say no. And when Isom starts to ask you what good does it serve, you say, I mean my brother, the one, his name is Charlie. Isn't that how it went?
This is the transcript, but I think there's also inaccuracies in the transcription.
Oh boy. All right. Do you want the culpable parties held accountable for murdering the father of your children?
Absolutely. I'm grateful they're already in jail.
But not if it's your family.
It's not my family.
I mean, somebody...
Wow. God. It's so sick what she's doing. What is it?
Culpable parties held accountable for murdering the father of your children?
Absolutely. I'm grateful they're already in jail.
But not if it's your family.
It's not my family.
I mean, somebody hired him, right?
Not necessarily.
Somebody paid him.
Not necessarily. It could have been space aliens. Maybe Danny gave a student a bad grade. Well, you know, Amy Adler, she's recently divorced, and I don't know how her husband. So if you're, looking for someone who might not be too happy with Danny, what a bitch! What a utter bitch!
I learned something this morning.
Yeah, me too. You didn't want him held accountable if it was your family members, didn't you?
If Georgia Kappelman had not scratched the back of her head at that moment, the moment would not have been as perfect as it was. But she did. So we're very lucky. Let's see it again.
Not necessarily.
Somebody paid him.
I learned something
She scratches her head at the perfect time.
this morning.
Yeah, me too. You didn't want him held accountable.
And for just the right amount of time. Incredible. It's like, if you look at the fucking, what do you call it? The musical, what's it called? Manuscript. Is that what you call it? You know what you write music on? Yeah. Beethoven. Where every note is perfect and exactly in place. It's like Georgia Kappelman's movements. She is Beethoven.
Accountable if it was your family members. Didn't you tell law enforcement that?
That's not what I told law enforcement.
What did you tell law enforcement?
I told them that the person who did this should be held responsible and that I had nothing to do with it.
Page 122, lines 7 through 12. If somebody tried to kill my ex-husband, they should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. The investigator says regardless of who it is, and your answer is, I mean, it would be different if I thought it were my brother.
But I don't think it was my family, is what I said.
Different now, isn't it?
No, it's not different. That's exactly
different
what I
today,
said
isn't
right
it?
here. No, that's not
No
right.
further questions.
No further questions. Charlie boy.
Did you have any input on the decision to change the boys' names from Markel to Adelson?
Absolutely not.
Do you and Donna have to protect Wendi?
No.
Does Wendi...
If he did have input, what would he have suggested? Charlie, what do you think we should rename the boys? What would he suggest? It wouldn't be just a normal name, would it? It would be like Thunder. Roman Thunder. Roman Thunder and Greek.
appreciate everything you and Donna do for her?
You You got to ask her. I mean, she's my sister. I love her. I try to give her my best advice I can. If I care about her, and I give her my advice, whether she takes it or not, is up to her. She's a grown woman.
Let me ask it another way. Do you feel, or isn't it true that you don't feel that Wendi appreciates everything you and Donna do for her?
And my sister had no idea what I've been through in the last, God knows how many years, and what I wake up worrying, am I going to get killed? Am I going to get arrested? And she knows none of it. She's just going around her life, and I had somewhat of an innate anger towards her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, probably unjust because she didn't know what happened. But yeah, I was upset.
And weren't you saying on the wire that she doesn't appreciate what you and Donna have done for her?
I don't know if I said that she doesn't appreciate what I've done for her, because I never did anything for her.
Okay, so that was my next question. What have you done for her? Nothing?
Other than give her advice and care about her, be a big brother that loves her.
Would you say Wendy's a little bit spoiled?
In some regards, I mean, she gets a lot of help, for sure.
Is she a little less savvy about how the world works than you are?
I don't know. I mean, you got to ask her.
Could you trust Wendi with a secret that could ruin your life?
It's not.
You see, Georgia Kafferman's a genius because she knew that he would want to say yes to that, and he had to check himself, didn't he? His instinct was to say yes. You can feel there's a switch in his face where he's just like, oh no, don't. That won't look good. Go for the ambiguity. Well, are you asking me to testify to the emotional state of another? Is that hearsay?
It's not a secret. It's something that would get me killed. So I didn't want to reveal something about her. Be a big brother that loves her.
Would you say Wendy's a little bit spoiled?
In some regards, I mean, she gets a lot of help, for sure.
Is she a little less savvy about how the world works than you are?
I don't know. You gotta ask her.
Could you trust Wendi with a secret that could ruin your
It doesn't even feel good for him to say that. He's like, oh, I can't believe I just said that. Of course, I'm more savvy about the way the world works. That's why I have to control her life like a puppet master.
your life?
It's not a secret. It's something that would get me killed. So I didn't want to tell her.
Can we agree that she obviously knew something about this crime?
She found out when she came to court. I never told her anything.
I'm talking about the murder of Dan Markell. She knew something, right? I mean, it's not a coincidence she went to the crime scene, is it?
You're talking about the route that she took that day?
I'm talking about her pulling up to the crime scene.
Hang on, so Christina says, for someone who hyperventilated at TPD, she didn't seem to even blink at Charlie's trial when she found out that Charlie knew who killed Dan. And that would have been in opening statements, would it? I think... Well, no. It would have been the... What would it have been? Wendi said she found out something this morning. So did she testify on day one? In Charlie's, I think she might have done. I think she might have been like the... I don't know. She could have been the fourth witness.
Scene tape.
She never went to the crime scene. She was going to buy a bottle of liquor that coincidentally the person sent her a stock the bar party for buy a bottle of bullet bourbon that she was going to pick up. She wasn't driving to a crime scene. And I think she made that clear too.
Did you see Georgia Kappelman there? Look at her. She can't take it anymore.
Person sent her a stock the bar party buy a bottle of bullet bourbon that she was going to pick up. She wasn't driving to a crime scene. I think she made that clear too. Nobody knew a murder was taking place.
She pulled up to the crime scene tape, Dr. Adelson.
She didn't.
Imagine you're on the stand. You've made the decision, brave or unwise, probably unwise, certainly in this case, to go up on the stand and, well, not represent yourself, but speak for yourself in your own defense. Tell your story, but then to a prosecutor. And this prosecutor, not any prosecutor, this prosecutor. And all the time, I mean, I want, you know, this is something I would want to get right. I don't know if it would be possible, but can you imagine, because we only get to see bits and pieces of Georgia Kappelman's face in this trial, and Donna's trial. The previous two trials didn't have FaceTime cameras for the lawyers, like they did here. But imagine if you could get the whole thing just with this angle here. So the whole, you don't see Charlie at all. 100% of the time for his cross-examination, the camera is on Georgia. That tape exists. It was recorded. I wonder who we'd speak to. Law and Crime Network? TBD. No, I mean, what do you call it? Democrat, Tallahassee.
Pull up to the crime scene tape. She was driving down the street and then had to make a U-turn. It was blocked off. But she wasn't going to.
She couldn't help herself.
Nobody knew a murder was going to take place.
She exposed you all to some degree by those actions, didn't she?
No, not at all.
And then she threw you under the bus in her interview, didn't she?
Nobody knew a murder was going to take place.
She knew her husband had just been shot, and they were asking her who would want him dead, and she said your name. Are you mad about that?
No, she said a lot of people's names.
Well, she said yours in the first 25 pages of a 5-hour interview. Isn't that true?
I wasn't there for the interview.
But you've reviewed it in preparation for your trial, haven't you?
I actually don't know if I've seen her interview.
Well, why not? I mean, do you think that's a... I'm actually... want to know what that is in a poll, because I haven't seen her interview. Did Charlie really not watch Wendy's interview? It's unbelievable, but yet it could be believable because it's him, right? What do you think? Did Charlie really not watch Wendy's interview? He did not watch it, or he did. Vote in that poll.
There was a lot of questions of you about, didn't you do this murder with Wendi? Doesn't the state think you did this murder with Wendi? Are you familiar with your charges in this case?
Yes, I'm very familiar with my charges.
All right. And who are you alleged to have done this murder with?
I'm alleged to have done this murder with my sister, my mom, and my dad.
Would it refresh your recollection to review a copy of the indictment in this case?
I'm a slow reader, but I could read it if you want.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Okay.
And this is the official charging document in your case, Dr. Adelson. What does it say in reference to who you are alleged to have committed the murder with?
This is, what date is this? 2022. Oh, they think I did a murder with Katie.
Catherine Magbanoa?
Yes.
Anybody else?
Give me a minute, I'll read. They got Luis Rivera in here. They got Sigfredo Garcia.
As being alleged to have committed the murder with you?
Did I read it too quick?
Take your time. Should just be at the very top of each charge. On or about July 18th, 2014, did unlawfully.
Okay. Yeah, Katie. Catherine.
Okay. Are you mad that Wendi hasn't been charged and you have?
No, I'm mad that I got charged for a crime that I didn't commit.
Do you have any innate anger with Wendi over that fact?
No, not at all.
Are you pissed that she told all that stuff to Jeff Lacoste?
I don't think she said that to Jeff, but I wasn't there.
How did Lacoste know about the celebration dinner?
That we went out to dinner, she got sick, so she may have told someone that she threw up.
And then what, he just added the part about you referring to it as a celebration?
I never referred to it as a celebration dinner. I picked my sister up. I said, where do you want to go to eat? She said she wanted pizza or sushi. I said, I know a great sushi place. We went there. We didn't have reservations. We ended up sitting at the bar for an hour waiting for our table, and she had 2 drinks and got sick.
She vomited on the dinner table. Or at the dinner table.
Yeah, she got her to the bathroom. But yeah, she doesn't drink alcohol. So those 2 drinks, and I think on an empty...
She doesn't drink alcohol, and she also doesn't breathe air. Yeah, no. She doesn't bleed if you cut her, because she's not a real human being.
Stomach, I think she got really sick, but there was no celebration dinner. It was the first time that she actually really left the house since she got back from Tallahassee. She was devastated.
Did you say something to her about the murder of Dan Markell?
It brings a whole new meaning to Hath Not a Jew Eyes.
Before she vomited?
Absolutely not.
Do you remember what you said right before she vomited?
She was I think she said, I don't feel well. And I say, oh no. And then she threw up.
Before that?
Oh no. Hey, I don't feel well. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. And then what happened? We managed to get her to the bathroom. It's very unclear, isn't it? Very unclear. I mean, although, we've only heard about it through Jeff, Wendi, and Charlie. I don't think, even on all of those jailhouse calls that we listened to with Charlie and Donna, this didn't come up. Everything else came up. Everything that actually happened came up. Right? And Jeff only got it from Wendi. I mean, and you couple it with the fact that in the same message, in the same conversation that she's having with Jeff, where she shares with him about the vomit, is where she shares with him about the celebration dinner, right? Not just Charlie took me to dinner, a celebration dinner. Hip hip hooray. That's what he said. So we know that there's a motive behind Wendi saying that. Now, I always pretty much just chalked it up to Wendi loving to know that people know that she did it, but she's just, we'll never know for sure, but we know. She loves that, right? So I just thought she was rubbing it in his face. But what if because of the coupling, the coupling of the declaration calling it a celebration dinner, that's one thing. And then you've got the throw up, vomit at the dinner table that may or may not have happened. It's not verified from anyone else. No restaurant workers come forward. Nothing. So what if, and this was early on, this was certainly before Jeff came back in March, but was it? Yeah, so soon after the murder. Maybe in August, because I think they stopped talking around August, I think, completely. Or not long after, right? So there wouldn't have been much time, a window of opportunity for that to happen, so the investigation would have still been in flux. Wendi would have known that Jeff was not arrested because they were talking. She was also saying to him, Jeff, what are you doing? I tried to protect you. I said I didn't know anything. All that shit. So she's still playing fucking games, right? What if she wanted to just plant the seed that would grow into an egg, and that egg would be the guilt of if he went forward to TPD and said, oh, look, she told me that they had a celebration dinner. Would that make it look like Jeff was trying to frame them? Because they always do that, right? They do that with everything. This weird, projection thing of, whatever we're doing to you, we're going to act like that's what you're doing to us, and that's why we're annoyed. It's, just so infuriating. You see what I mean? Whatever we're doing to you, we're going to pretend that that's what you're doing with us, and that's the reason for why we're so cross with you. It's mindfuck. But I guess the point of what I'm saying is, how much credence does the vomit thing have, really? Did it happen? It seems flaky. It seems sketchy. And another thing, you know how we all talk about this case and we all say, oh, it's so great because there's so many trials and you get to look at it from so many angles. Every time there's a new defendant, and I don't know why I'm saying it in that voice, because mimicking voice, because that's my sentiment. That's what I like best too. But it's true, right? But also what happens is that certain things that the prosecutor, for instance, will lay out in the story, and certain things might not really be true. They might make good sense and they link up I'm trying to think. What would an uncertain thing? An uncertain thing may be, was the money really wet, for instance? That's not a great example, but let's just do it. Was the money really wet? And I know that's only come up in 2 trials, so that's it. But imagine something comes up in 4 trials that's not true, necessarily, but it fits. But because we've got that multi-exposure to that just assumed truth, it becomes more solidified as an actual reality, right? And that could be dangerous. There could be a downside to having multiple trials. And with this vomit at the table thing, It's never really been challenged. It's accepted, but it's strange. It's flaky. Why isn't it more verified? Why is it like, kind of, even as he's telling it now, it's a question of, well, did she throw up like on the table, or did you manage to get her to a bathroom? Because there's a mix in what he's saying. It's not straightforward. I don't think it's ever been discussed with Donna. I can't think of a single time that Charlie has referred to this incident. He went into many things with Donna about Wendi, about her drive down Trescott, and I know he was doing that a lot to show things that she fucked up the plan with, but I don't know, I just feel like if I can see, if it didn't really happen, I can see Charlie not bringing it up to Donna, because it's not in their reality, right? I don't know. That's going to be our new poll. How do we do on this poll? 71% say Charlie did see the video, but did he watch it all the way through? Find out next week on True Crime Metrix. What was the new poll? Is the Wendi vomit table story true? Really true? I'm going to be interested to see what people think. Oh no, that's the other one. We'll play this guy.
No, I think I said, oh no. So those two, she said that to Jeff,
Yeah.
but I was.
Let's hear the all the vomit again.
Are you mad that Wendi hasn't been charged and you have?
No, I'm mad that I got charged for a crime that I didn't commit.
Do you have any innate anger with Wendi over that fact?
No, not at all.
Are you pissed that she told all that stuff to Jeff Lacoste?
I don't think she said that to Jeff, but I wasn't there.
How did Lacoste know about the celebration dinner?
That we went out to dinner. She got sick, so she may have told.
There's the poll. Straightforward, yes or no, black and white. Vote. Cast your vote. Yes. People say yes. 2 people say yes. But who says no? Anybody? Okay. Maybe I should go through the chat. Have people... so it's 100% all the way for yes. Yes. Everyone says yes. Why are you so sure, though? I gotta catch up.
Told someone that she threw up.
And then what? He just added the part about you referring to it as a celebration?
I never referred to it as a celebration dinner. I picked my sister up. I said, where do you want to go to eat? She said she wanted pizza or sushi. I said, I know a great sushi place. We went there. We didn't have reservations. We ended up sitting at the bar for an hour waiting for our table. She had 2 drinks and got sick.
She vomited on the dinner table. Or at the dinner table.
Yeah, she got her to the bathroom. But yeah, she doesn't drink alcohol. So those 2 drinks, and I think on an empty stomach, I think she got really sick. But there was no celebration dinner. It was the first time that she actually really left the house since she got back from Tallahassee. She was devastated.
Did you say something to her about the murder of Dan Markell right before she vomited?
Absolutely not.
Do you remember what you said right before she vomited?
She was I think she said, I don't feel well. And I say, oh no. And then she threw up.
Before that?
No, I think I said, oh no. And then she threw up.
Before she announced that she was going to be ill.
Right.
Do you remember what the conversation was?
Just how's the food? How's your I mean, we were probably about halfway through dinner. If you look at the timetable, we weren't there long.
Why did you brag to Jeffrey Lacoste about your connection to the Cuban criminal element?
Never said that to Jeff Lacoste.
So he's making that up?
Okay, so assuming it did happen, I mean, I can think of something that would possibly support the idea that it did, and that is the idea that Wendi, after that occasion, I believe was the point where she was
bro, I'm gonna
pissed
fucking
at,
you're fucking with me.
oh, hey, Thank you so much. More bubbles, please. 3 coffees. Thank you for supporting the channel on buymeacoffee.com/true crime Metrix. Yeah, I think that's when Wendi was... There was a big change, right? I'm trying to think why I know that. So it wouldn't be something... I'm thinking it was something June said, but of course she wasn't a thing then, but maybe she was referring back, possibly. Can't say. But yeah, if Wendi did throw up, I mean, my opinion, the best opinion I have, I'm not going to stand behind it like a freight train or in front of a freight train. I wouldn't jump in front of a freight train for this opinion, but it's just the best one I have. Is that Wendi said, so who did you get to do it? And he said, oh, Katie and her husband. And she went, you did what? The people that did it is the girl you're fucking and her jealous thug ex. That's who you gave $100,000 to do a murder for us. Someone that close to the family. Yeah. I mean, it's so obviously stupid. Wendi would understand that. Charlie didn't. Donna doesn't fucking know anything. And I remember some people have said to me in the past, a long time ago, they said, oh no, Wendy's such a control freak that she would have insisted on knowing every detail. And I thought, no. That's exactly the not thing she does. No detail. Very, very limited detail. That's her whole... That's... You know, Wendi recognized how she could at least find something to be confident about. And what she tells herself is, I didn't know any detail, so I wasn't part of the plan. And that's not what she's saying literally as a spoken excuse, but telling herself that makes her feel less threatened. And that would go a long way. Just that self thing to hold on to. It's almost like a mantra. It's like Matthew McConaughey at that beginning of that movie where he beats his chest. Which is a really nice thing to do, by the way. Everyone should do that every day. You know the one I mean? It goes... It's great.
If he said it, I never said it.
Well, you were in here when he said it, weren't you?
I heard him say it, yeah. But I never said that to him.
Yeah. I heard him say it, but I didn't hear myself say anything to him that was anything like what he said there. What? That's how he talks. That's how he talks. That's exactly how he talks. I don't know what a young Russian woman is. Those in the picture are my fake arms.
On one of these calls, and it's in the context of talking about Dave and Wendy's relationship with Dave, You tell your mom that you've already gone above and beyond for Wendi. Was that a reference to having her ex murdered?
No, that's me getting tired of this Dave stuff. I mean, Dave's a great guy.
I've already gone above and beyond. Well, what did he have to do? Suck him off? Was that part of the deal? I've gone above and beyond. I mean, that's not just a couple of phone calls, like getting tired of the Dave phone calls. That's special level, right? Above and beyond means above and beyond. Above and beyond. Right? That's a load of effort. That's not a couple of phone calls. That's a murder or something else.
I mean, everyone who meets him likes him. He's not only super successful, but he's very low-key, like T-shirts and jeans kind of guy. And he loved my sister's kids. I mean, if you listen to The Wire, the point I was making is not how successful he is. The point I was making is that my nephews farted on him, and he thought it was funny and didn't bother him. And he also has 3 young kids, the same ages as my sister's 2 young kids. They actually met in line when my sister was registering the kids for school, and they've been friends for years. So I thought it was a great opportunity for my sister to have a great guy.
And Ben farted on him there as well. and he liked it again, and I knew he was right for my sister. It's just, that's his only point. Here, listen, not only is he super successful, but he's super low-key, T-shirt and jeans kind of guy. I mean, do you remember when we watched a little bit of him the other day? I mean, the guy is a freak show. I mean, it's like somebody's taken out all the moving parts and not put them back quite right. Couple of fucking bolts left over that we don't know where they're from. We know they came from in him, but to be honest, if we try and put them back, we might make more of a mess than it is now. So probably the best bet for everybody is, just get him some pink headphones with little fox ears on the top.
In her life, and I was getting sick and tired of Dave calls. And The Wire started in April. My sister's birthday's in April. Dave's birthday's in April. So you got a ton of Dave chatter on this case. But believe me, I'd go crazy if I was talking about Dave like this all year long.
So that's a no. You did not reference having her ex murdered
Absolutely not.
when you said
No.
you've already gone above and beyond.
No,
for
that was
Wendi.
me getting sick of dealing with the Dave stuff. As great of a guy as he is, I was still getting sick of it.
When the $1 million offer was conceived, do you recall whose idea that was?
My parents.
Why was the relocation worth $1 million?
Neverly Darling says, in my theory, Charlie told Wendi something very inappropriate and connected to the murder, and she panicked and threw up. So very inappropriate and connected to the murder. Right. Well, what else would that be? Other than the people who did it is my current girlfriend that we're now going to bring on as an employee at our family business. And pay for all her car repairs. Yeah. Okay. Kind of, I do not see Wendi signing off on that. Ergo, not having foreknowledge pre-event, pre-murder. It's one of many major, well, primary. Can you have many primary? One of many primary, one of many unique things about this case is shit. I lost my thought. I don't see Wendi signing off on something so stupid. No foreknowledge. And people say, well, you know, but what about, you know, the call Sigfredo made to Katie when, you know, it's done. Katie's like, I know. Well, it's only been reported by Luis Rivera, who, I don't think he's lying, but by his own testimony, and yes, I accept that Katie has a shrill, traveling voice that's probably not hard to hear her say the words, I know. But, number one, it's not verified. It's told by a person who heard it while traveling in a car through a speakerphone. Was it actually on speakerphone, or she just got such a voice that he could hear it without speakerphone being on? Maybe. Either way that it is, it still could be unclear. I mean, they could have the window open, the radio on. Things we don't know. It's not a proven thing that Katie said that. Did Katie admit it? Did Katie say that she said I know? I'm not even sure she was asked. If anyone remembers, please do let me know in the comments. Did Katie say anything about the conversation in testimony? Under oath, did Katie say anything about the phone call Sigfredo made to her after about what, an hour? It was 12:30 or something, the call to Katie, right? So about an hour and a half after the motor, when they're out of town. And number one, I'm pretty confident that news crews could have been putting that out. At least a load of police on Trescott Drive. You know, no names or nothing. But the report that Jane McPherson referred to, yes, she came into the interrogation room. Well, I think it was about 4 o'clock-ish. It was a little later, right? But she was referring to a report where you could see the house and so on. And I think it's totally reasonable to say that news could have been being, you know, beamed out an hour and a half, maybe. Cops were there and they took a while. Ambulance cops, 15 minutes. Yeah, it's probably a bit tight to get a news crew out, isn't it? I don't know. Maybe not. It's what do you call it? Not Bet in the Hills. It's Bet in the Hills, right? Protect the money, broadcast the money, broadcast the coffee. What else? Never said it at trial. Okay, good. Yeah, I don't recall 100%, but I think she denied it. I could be wrong. Yeah. Lewis said it in his police interview only, I believe. I think I've heard him say it on the stand, I'm pretty sure. So that I'm just saying that's one thing that people who want to support the idea that Wendi and Katie, you know, knew each other's roles in this, and don't forget, like, well, you know, that we should I say we? I don't know. That we're aware of direct communication from Katie outside of court, personal communication. And Katie says that Wendi, she thinks Wendy knew, but she can't. What was it? She can't be sure, something like that. She's basically saying, yeah, I think so, but I don't know. I.e., I wasn't planning anything with her. No reason to lie. Yeah, so no, I'm just saying people like to point to the idea that the phone call, Sigfredo. Katie says, I know. How did she know? Oh, because Wendi contacted Charlie, who contacted Katie, or Wendi contacted Katie direct. Or Sigfredo. I don't think so. I don't think there's enough weight or validity to the statement in the car about Katie saying, I know. Even if she did say, I know, I think one of the lawyers brought it up as possibly being like, oh, I could just tell from the tone of his voice, which might be believable. I'm just saying, there's not enough to base anything on with that. So the UV dinner, I'm pretty set on my opinion. Not going to jump in front of a train. Wendi asked, who did you get to do it? Charlie said, Katie and her dipshit boyfriend. Wendi thought, you fucking idiot, that's just what we need to get us all caught. We're going to be creating distance now, but I'm just going to have a visceral reaction and throw up all of this tequila. Oh no, what was it? Martinis.
Well, it was actually I was going to pay a third, so I only looked at it as that way. Why was it worth it?
Mm-hmm. That's the question.
Because it was going to help my sister out, and it was going to be it was going to give her a good opportunity for a good job down here, and she was going to be around family, and family's important, so that's why.
Isn't it true that financially you came out ahead on this deal as opposed to if you had coughed up the third of the $1 million offer?
How in the world did I come up ahead?
Yeah, Lenny, I don't believe Wendi ever talked to Katie. Plus, there's a whole. Got to go back and find the AA Legal Focus video where she interviewed Yindra, because they went into a great amount of detail. I watched the whole thing. This is ages ago. But a great amount of detail about the beach meeting, where people love to say, last minute planning. Katie and Wendi getting their ducks in a row. No. And that's all there is to it.
This is the craziest
Financially, you paid $138,000, then you paid $2,000 a month plus the $1,000 payroll amount. You're still about over $100,000 ahead financially than if you had coughed up the $333K.
No, I would have been better off paying. And first of all, I never paid for murders. This is a crazy question, but paying $3,000 a month.
Yeah, nice try tripping me up, Kappelman. I'm hot on you, Kappelman. You see my lawyer over there, Mr. Rashbaum? He gave me a 95. He said I was a genius.
For life is not anything anybody wants to do.
I didn't say anything about paying for a murder. I said you paid $138,000, which you did.
I got extorted for $330,000.
Oh, Rashbaum and Katie.
Again, you lied when you testified that you didn't know anything about or were involved in the murder of Professor Markell, right?
Yes, sir. I told you I lied in my first and second trial to save myself.
Ma'am, we've heard it. If you could just answer the questions. Did you lie?
Yes, sir.
We need to do a poll on who misses Rashbaum. Because I know you all secretly do. What do we do on this poll? Did the vomit Wendi thing really actually happen? 82% say yes. Well, that's pretty... 83. That's pretty decisive. Next is... Well, maybe we should keep it serious. We'll come back to the rash-bound question. This is important. This is important. Oh, not that one. Which... Did... I have to be careful. I don't want to answer. I don't want to ask a question that if people start answering yes to, it's going to upset me. I have to be careful. Okay. Did Wendi know about Katie? You know, being the Middlewoman. Katie's involvement. Involvement before the murder happened. Yes or no?
You lied when you testified that you knew nothing about Wendy's divorce, Wendi Adelson's divorce.
Yes, sir.
You lied when you said you didn't pick up money from Charlie's house on July 18th.
Yes, sir.
You lied when you said you knew nothing about stapled cash.
Yes, sir.
You lied when you said you didn't bring the money to Sigfredo or Luis Rivera the next day.
Yes, sir.
You lied again when you said...
And you know what? What else is telling, perhaps, maybe? You have to think about things that you would expect to see that are missing, and not just what, you know, when you're working on a premise like that, you've got to, and you've only got so much to work with that's in front of you. It's like you have to go, okay, well, if the premise is that Katie said this, what else might we expect to see? For instance, you might expect, after Sigfredo calls Katie to let her know that the killing has been done, and she says on the phone, I know. You gotta think that might be surprising to Sigfredo a little bit, right? Might be like, well, how do you know? I thought I was calling you to... That was quick. Who told you? It might be surprising. And you got to think that after he gets off the phone with Katie, he might turn around to Lewis and say, man, she already knew. What the fuck? That's... Did they have someone else up here? Or, you know, someone watching? It might make you nervous. Granted, they're fucking cokeheads, but... You got to think, if you've done a murder, even if it seems to have gone really well and you hit the road, no cops, no tail, nothing, you got to think that if something comes up that's surprising like that, like I call Katie to let her know that it's done, she already knows. That's surprising, and that's now worrying. Why is that surprising? There's something that I don't know. Was someone watching us? You know. Anyway, whether that happened or not, I don't know if Sigfredo would have taken it that far, but I could imagine him getting off the phone and saying to Lewis, man, she already knew. And Lewis never reported that to anyone, and he would have done if it had been said. So I'm comfortable saying Sigfredo never did that. Is it believable that he just thought, oh, she already knew? Good. So I didn't need to call. Lewis, you hungry? Can we stop at Denny's? How far is it to the next Denny's? I think it might come up, and it didn't.
And you worked as a personal assistant for Charlie, right?
Yes, sir.
You lied.
Oh, we're in the danger zone here. Look at this. Did Wendi know about Katie's involvement before the murder happened? Currently, 69% say yes, which is unbelievable to me. Why? Let's discuss it. I mean, please try and put forward good points.
Repeatedly, when you tried to discuss what had happened, what was being spoken at Dolce Vita, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, now let's talk about the lies that you told that the state didn't go over with you. Let's talk about your proffers, your cooperation.
Yes, sir.
So you were interviewed by the state twice in October and November 2022, correct?
Yes, sir.
And by the way, you've met with them a couple times since then, right?
A couple times.
Have you met with them
After?
since? Yeah, after that point?
Probably one time.
You met with Ms. Kappelman?
Yes, yes, sir.
Did Ms. Kappelman ask you about our defense during that meeting?
No, sir.
She didn't ask you about whether, for the first time, whether you ever threatened
No,
Charlie
sir.
Adelson? Now, when you met with them in October and November of 2022, this was after you got your life sentence, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, Jill Jane, who says, who tipped Katie off that it was done, of course. Well, that's what we've just been talking about, is that Katie's never testified to that. And the only thing to support that is this idea that Sigfredo called her up and Lewis reported that he heard her say through the speakerphone, we don't even know if it was on speakerphone, but in a moving car, possibly with the windows open and the radio on, that she said, I know. I mean, we just went through a whole big thing about how that's not reliable, so we can't base it solely on that, can we? That wouldn't be wise.
And you met with them first in Marion County Jail on October 11th, right?
Marion County Jail? No, sir. I've never been in that county.
You met with them in the jail. I got the wrong jail, obviously.
I've never met with them in any jails.
Where did you meet with them?
I
the
was
first
already in DOC.
Okay.
In Lowell.
You met with them in prison.
Lenny says she wouldn't have allowed that beach pic. I think she'd have gone further than that. And maybe, because Wendi never says the word murder or plan or nothing, right? It's all wink, wink, kiss, kiss. But I'd go so far as to say that if Wendi did have prior knowledge that that his plan was to use Katie as a middlewoman to connect to her own baby daddy while he's still banging her, that she'd have found a way to make him pull the plug, because it's right out of line with, and of course, a large part of my theory is Wendy's willingness, at the very least, if not specific orchestrated design, to let or make Charlie and Donna go down. I mean, you could say, well, maybe she'd be happy that it was Katie that set it up, but I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think she'd have probably pulled the plug if she'd known. Yeah, so anybody who's answering yes to the question, did Wendi know about Katie's involvement before the murder happened? Please let us know.
Yes, sir.
Only for friendly discussion. Why you think that? And we can't base it just on, what was that point a moment ago? Katie had being tipped off that the murder had been done, because that's not. proven.
Apologies. And the second time, you met with them at the state attorney's office, right? Here in Tallahassee.
Yes, sir.
And both times, Special Agent Sanford was there,
Yes, sir.
Investigator Jason Newland was there,
Yes, sir.
and TPD Investigator Sherry Bennett were there.
Yes, sir.
And they asked you questions.
Yes, sir.
And each time, you told them a version of events that was very different from what you said at your trials, right?
Yes, sir.
In fact, during those 6 hours of interviews, you told them about 5 more versions.
Yeah, well, Sandra says, Georgia Kaplan has asked Wendi at every trial whether she ever sent a WhatsApp message to Katie. Wendi said, I don't believe so, and this is how Wendi lies. Yes, it is, but the reason that it's effective is that she'll put the same answer to something that's true and to something that's a lie. That's, you know, if you change the pattern every time you tell a lie, and only when you tell a lie, you expose the pattern. You have to, you know, what do you call it? Polka dot. You have to polka dot it.
Right?
5 different versions of it?
Yeah.
No, sir.
Oh, so you told them the same thing throughout the 6 hours that you met with them?
I believe so, but I think the first time.
So, Joe Jane thinks they have WhatsApp between Katie and Wendi will come up. Georgia keeps bringing it up. I mean, but, you know, what tells you that? I mean, we already went through another way that possibly this whole WhatsApp thing and Wendy's friend that she was on the phone to while she was driving down Centerville, who was in England, and that's relevant because it's not in the jurisdiction, it's not within the cell tower range, it's not on an American network, there's no the investigation would be limited, different at least than if it was someone in the country. And I mean, she was on the phone while she got to the roadblock and did the K-turn, right? And continued to be on the phone, I believe, all the way until she got to ABC Liquor, because she said something about coming off the phone then or leaving it in the car or something. She was on the phone, and I think it's with the guy that was in England, right? So I thought, what if she said to him, hey, you know who would love to hear from you? My mom. Why don't you call my mom? And if he did, the fact that he's calling Donna would be a signal to say, murder has been complete. And if she doesn't want to send that signal, she just doesn't ask the guy to call her mom. No, I'm not saying it would have been exactly that. I'm just saying that there would be a way to innocently involve a third party without their knowledge and get them to be the relay of a coded message. Now you might say that, hey, Metrix, this isn't fucking James Bond. But, I mean, the charge card theory is a little bit more James Bond than that. And even that it was interesting, at least. It was interesting to think, does this have credibility? You know, the charge card thing, where if Wendi pays for the liquor on a charge card, which she did, and that card account has, what do you call it, approved. People can log in and, share the account or whatever. They can get a notification that says, a charge has just been made in ABC Liquors for whatever. And that would have been a message. I mean, maybe there was no message. Maybe it was just a news crew. My point is that there's nothing to this that supports the idea that Wendi phoned Katie to inform her about the thing. And it's not like there aren't any other options. There are more that we haven't even thought about. But it's not proof of Wendi phoning Katie, so it's not proof of Wendy's prior knowledge of Katie's involvement, so it's not proof that the thing that made Wendi throw up at the dinner table was learning that Charlie had done something so fucking stupid that now could not be undone and would forever be tied to them and over them. I mean, I'm surprised that people find it difficult to imagine that that is exactly the kind of rage, hate, emotion that would make Wendi Adelson suddenly projectile vomit. The gravity of that realization that my idiot fuckhead of a brother who acted like he would get some special forces guys that he knew that got back from Fallujah or something. What happened to that? Oh, well, we'll just do it with Katie. Yeah. I can see that revelation being A, something that would make Wendi throw up, and B, something that would change their relationship, which apparently, maybe I'm getting the timings right, but I think that might have been the moment that was expressed by somebody, maybe June, I know that was later, but maybe she was referring back. I can't remember the details, I'm sorry. But there was a rift, there was a definite rift between Charlie and Wendi post-murder, soon post-murder. And I think this is a real front runner for being the thing that it is, the telling her, hey, it was Katie and Sigfredo.
You can't even visit more than 2 hours, so I don't know where you're getting 6 hours.
Well, maybe I'm wrong, but let's look. The first interview started at 9:26 a.m. and it ended at 11:44 a.m., so a little over 2 hours.
Yes, sir.
First interview. Your position right now, what you're telling this jury, is that the same thing you told them in the first interview, you told them in the second interview?
I believe so, yes, sir.
You believe so or you know so?
I know so. I believe so. I believe so.
You absolutely know so?
No, I don't, not verbatim exactly what I said.
Isn't it true that during the entire first interview you said you had nothing to do with the murder?
No, sir, I didn't say that.
All right, well, we're going to go through exact quotes, and we'll see if your memory can be refreshed.
Yes, sir.
By the way, during any of these interviews, did you give them any documentation, anything new? Any text messages, documentation, WhatsApps, any new, as people call it,
So Sandra says, I am relying on Georgia's pattern. She doesn't ask questions she doesn't have the answers to. Well, not if she wants an answer, but I think Georgia Kappelman quite often does this thing where she asks a question not to get an answer, but to fuck with people. I mean, she's not expecting the person to produce an answer. So it doesn't, have to clarify what it is, it's a little bit different. The thing about don't ask questions you don't have the answers to is if you're expecting the person to provide an answer. If you're not, then there doesn't need to be an answer. It's the question. And she's very artful at using that as a tool. So, you know, I think she's got a few. I don't think it's as straightforward as she doesn't ask questions she's not got the answers to. The only way to get WhatsApp messages is to get them directly off a person's phone. Wendi gave up her cell. Well, we know that she got it back extremely quickly. I mean, as far as I think that fucking cell was cleaned out. If you delete a WhatsApp message off your cell phone, it's gone. You know, it's already encrypted. I mean, and she said that. She said, oh, I use my text messages as a to-do list, so when I get a message, I delete it straight away. You know, and all the entries in my calendar as well, my calendar app, I delete everything as I do them, which no one has ever done on the face of the world. It's not even good housekeeping, because sometimes you need to think, what day was it that I did that business action? Keep the calendar. It's really important. Yeah, so I don't think that phone had been stone cold. You think she would have given it to them with evidence? The only way to get WhatsApp messages is to get them directly off a person's phone. Wendi gave up her cell. Well, I think she gave it up because it had been checked by someone who knew what they were doing. IBM, Dell, touché. Tarkawas said they have all of Charlie's WhatsApp messages, if we're to believe her. Well, all of the ones that were present. Yeah, probably believe that. But again, I mean, deleting the WhatsApp message, you know, there's a setting for it to be backed up, but you can just say no, and then it's not backed up. You are right. No James Bond here. The criminals are too stupid. Well, that is why in Dalla's trial, Wendi seemed much more scared. I know what you're referring to, but I think there was. I remember it being specifically in relation to an email that was being displayed on the screen, and possibly an indication of a chain of other emails that are yet to come, yet to be displayed, yet to be submitted. Metrix explain her behavior on that interview. I don't have time for that right now, Joe. It's a 6-hour interview. But we've covered it like 4 or 5 times, so go back to the channel page. I support your theory, Metrix. Thank you, Nelly. Which one? What was the most recent theory? My golly good gosh, I forgot already. Okay, we need to play...
Seats. Did you give them any new evidence?
No, I'm in prison. I don't have anything.
It was just your words, right?
Yes, sir.
So let's talk about what you said. During the first proffer, which was a little over 2 hours,
Yes, sir.
you raised your hand and they put you under oath, right?
Yes, sir.
And throughout the proffer, the agents, particularly Special Agent Sanford, kept on telling you that you have to tell the truth, right?
Yes, sir.
He didn't believe you.
I mean, whatever his reasons are.
Was he frustrated?
Okay, Neville Darling says, Georgia said Wendi deleted the "This is so sweet" before she got to TPD. Are you making the point that deleted messages can be recovered? Because I would say that Georgia Kaplan, if that is the point you're making, I would say that Georgia Kaplan didn't become aware of the "This is so sweet" message that Wendi deleted by recovering it, but later seeing the message that Charlie had received from Wendi on his device, which wouldn't have been deleted by Wendy's deletion on her device. If that was the point you were making. But I'm not 100%. It's okay, Metrix. I think we agree on most things. Yeah. Well, I'm glad. Better too many than not enough, right?
Frustrated with you during the interview?
Yes, sir.
In fact, 1 hour and 8 minutes into the proffer, he said to you that you were minimizing your involvement.
What is the objection?
Hearsay, Your Honor.
You told that to investigators a year ago, that's what, on that night, you had no idea that there was a shooting.
Yes, I was partly denying probably still my involvement in it. This is something I've suppressed for a long time, sir.
Now, what's also interesting is when you described July 18th, you said Charlie was panicked.
Yes, sir.
You said he took his Xanax and you took his Xanax.
Yes, sir. He gave me.
You said that he was upset.
I never said he was upset. He was just frantic.
Let's move on to the second proffer.
Yes, sir.
The second proffer was 6 weeks after the first proffer. Do you recall that?
This is when I came back. I came here?
Correct.
Yes, sir.
And you met with investigators for 3.5 hours this time.
If that's what it says.
From 10:06 in the morning to 1:38 in the afternoon.
Yes, sir.
At the beginning of the interview, you told investigators you didn't know why you were there, right?
Yes, I didn't know what I got pulled out for.
And 15 minutes into the interview, Agent Sanford left the room, right?
Yes, sir.
I didn't know what I got pulled out for. Well, not a broken tail light. You know, it's like, well, how many cops was it? It was a big deal. She pissed her pants, didn't she? Nothing tops off being hauled off to jail more than a big old, you know, piss-smelling wet patch all over your crotch. It's not a good look.
He didn't come back.
No, sir.
During the interview, you recall being told that you weren't giving the state anything to make them want to do anything for you.
Repeat that question, sir.
Do you recall that during the interview, you were told that you weren't giving the state anything to make them want to do anything for you?
Who stated that?
Investigator Bennett.
Okay, yes, sir.
She was upset.
I mean, we were just talking about the same thing over again.
When she said that you had a real issue, right?
Not that
Yeah, I thought the police handling of Katie McBanner was Profer was fucking shit. I mean, I know Katie was stalling and taking it in circles and didn't know what to turn and getting pressure put on her. It was just all handled. Nothing came of it, really. It took 2 hours. We all got excited because we were going to watch it, and then it was shit. Nothing happened. And it was because of those tactics from Bennett, from Sanford, and the other guy. But, I think if you'd have put General Isom in a room with Katie McBanawar, he'd have come out with something. Because he's got a nice approach. I think Katie would get on with... And he'd probably want to be an uncle to her as well. Oh.
I can recall. What's the issue?
Well, if you didn't help the state and give them something that they could work with, there was only one way you were ever getting out of prison. And that's in a box.
Why do you keep stating that, sir?
You're in jail.
Is it not self-explanatory? He's saying that you had no other option, so your only option was to lie on the stand and give the state what they want to discredit the validity of your testimony.
Jail for the rest of your life, right?
Yes, sir.
If the state doesn't help you, the only way you're getting out of prison is when you die.
But they never said they were going to help me. I wasn't promised
That's not my
anything.
question. What's the only way that you're getting out?
It's funny he keeps saying the only way you're getting out of jail is in a box, because doesn't he not kind of look like he's in a box right now? A jack in the box?
Prison if the state doesn't help you.
I'll die in prison.
During this second proffer, they asked you, you mean to tell me that you had no clue that he came to Tallahassee? Answer, he never told me he was going to Tallahassee. Do you recall saying that you didn't know that Sigfredo Garcia was going to Tallahassee?
Yes, sir. I never knew he went to Tallahassee.
You never knew Sigfredo Garcia went to Tallahassee?
No, sir.
Okay. During these proffers, you never told the state about monthly payments, did you?
Monthly payments?
That Charlie was making monthly payments to you?
What, the checks from the Adelson Institute?
Yes.
They were aware of that.
How about the cash he was giving you every month?
He wasn't giving me any cash every month.
Oh, really?
Yes.
He wasn't giving you $2,000 of cash every single month that you're heard on the wires trying to accept?
No, sir.
He was just giving you an Adelson Institute check?
Yes, sir. What would the $2,000 be for?
Before he gave you the Adelson Institute checks, you were getting $3,000 a month, right?
No, sir.
It wasn't until 1 hour and 13 minutes in the first proffer that you first admitted that you didn't work for the Adelson Institute, right?
Yes, sir. I lied about it.
In the proffer.
In the proffer, I don't know when I said it, but I lied in my trials about getting those checks from the Adelson Institute. So I said those were checks that I needed to show so that I can get insurance for my children.
You recall them asking you about a meeting with Charlie in the car before Dolce Vita?
Yes, sir.
And you said that you couldn't recall what was discussed?
Yes, sir.
You recall that during the second proffer, you told the state that you didn't know the police were at your door during the wire? And if you had known they were at the door, you would have let them in?
I don't think I mentioned it in that way, but they didn't announce themselves when they were knocking on the door.
In fact, aren't we going to see in the wires that you were hiding from the police?
I was not hiding. I was at home.
Weren't you hiding at home?
From what?
Yeah, I was just about to say.
I was working.
I wasn't hiding. I was hiding at home. Yeah, but you were at home hiding in the fucking wardrobe, whispering on the phone, "They're at my door." I wasn't hiding. I was at home. Hiding at home. In the trash can.
Working from home that day.
Weren't you making a bunch of phone calls to a lot of people saying, the police are at my door, I don't know what to do, I can't answer the door, I'm afraid? Weren't you hiding from them?
Somebody was knocking at the door. They didn't state who they were, so I was calling Sigfredo, and nobody was picking up. Then one of his coworkers finally called back and said that there's FBI over there speaking to him, and he's going to come by the house.
And he came by the house?
Yes.
And you all discussed how you were going to stay hidden and not answer the door, right?
I didn't discuss anything. They just said that there was like an FBI agent or an agent outside. So I just never answered.
And you decided not to answer the door and let them in, right?
No, why would I let them in?
But let me make sure that we're being clear here.
Yes, sir.
Did you know that the police were outside your door?
I didn't know who was outside my door. I didn't know until his coworker had stated that there was an undercover or an agent outside.
And after he stated that, did you know that there was police outside your door?
They were gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like they knocked.
Okay.
And then they were gone.
You didn't stay hidden for over 45 minutes while these phone calls are happening?
I was at home. I just didn't open the door.
Okay. During the entire first proffer and 2/3 of the second proffer, you never said that Charlie did it or ordered it. Isn't that true?
Not specifically, no.
Now today you come in here and you talk about how on Halloween Charlie asked you if there was someone who could hurt his ex-brother-in-law, right?
I stated that on the proffer.
That's fine.
Yes, sir.
It took you a while to state it in the proffer, but I admit you did. It took you about an hour and 40 minutes. But today, that's what your testimony was, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you know that you had only started dating Charlie Adelson about 2 weeks before Halloween?
Probably. We just started talking. I don't know specifically if it was 2 weeks.
Do you know that at the time of Halloween 2013, Charlie Adelson had absolutely no idea anything about your ex?
I wouldn't know, sir.
Well, let me see if I can refresh your memory. Do you recall text messages in November 27th of 2013 where you said to...
Sustained.
Okay.
Please show the witness the document.
But let me ask some questions first.
Go ahead.
Isn't it true that Charlie Adelson didn't know about your ex until November 27th, 2013?
I wouldn't know, sir.
And even then, he didn't know much about him?
I wouldn't know.
Let me approach with,
You may.
what number is it? Defense Exhibit 34.
May I see that item, Mr. Marshall?
You have it, just text messages.
Hey, thank you so much, Miss Myers, for the PayPal, and Sally for the coffees that I just saw. Thank you so much, Sally and Miss Myers.
What am I looking at, sir?
These text messages between you and Charlie Eagles.
Oh. And Sarah as well. We have to say thank you to Sarah from the other day, who was very late. But we still got it. Thank you, Sarah. He's falling asleep, isn't he? He's bored. He's watching his ex-girlfriend on the stand testify in his own murder trial against him, devastatingly, saying, yes, he paid me the money and I made the arrangements with the men who did the killing that have already been convicted and proven to be the right guys. A devastating witness against Charlie Adelson, and for some reason he can't hold his attention span. He's bored. He's floating around his brain. He's thinking, what about my sex toys? Now, are they all in one place? I know that we usually keep them all in that big bag, but what if one is in the drawer? What about that? And what about the lube? Could I tell my mother that it's actually olive oil? Maybe. I'll tell her it's olive oil. And I'll get, what's her fucking name? I'll get that girl, that crazy girl that lives in my house to dispose of the big bag of dildos before my mother has to clean everything out. That's what I'll do. That's where his brain's gone. Either that or it's a monkey with a miniature symbol.
You have it, just text messages.
What am I looking at, sir?
These text messages between you and Charlie Eagles. Does that refresh your recollection that he didn't know about your ex until at the earliest, November 27, 2013?
Yes, sir.
Halloween's in October, right?
Yes, sir.
And Memorial Day is in May. We learned all about the dates through this trial, didn't we?
Now, you talk about this letter and Charlie printing it up. In all the times in Charlie's house, you ever see him, does he have a computer? He doesn't own a computer, right?
He had a little office in his house, but I don't know if there was a computer or not. I don't recall.
Yeah, where he would do all of his, bookkeeping.
Do you recall during these interviews that the investigators kept on pushing you whether Charlie gave you money during the trips?
Repeat the question, sir.
Do you recall during these interviews that the investigators kept on pushing you, asking you a lot of questions about whether Charlie Adelson gave you any money before the two men took the trips?
Yes. And I answered them.
I know you did.
Okay.
And it took you 22 minutes left in the second proffer where you finally said he gave you a few $100s before each trip.
Yes, sir.
Repeatedly before then, you couldn't even remember that, right? You were confused as you said it.
No, I could remember it. It was just very hard when I was speaking, especially when I was speaking with Sergeant Sanford in the room because he was frustrated with me. So once he left the room, it was an easier conversation to have, and I wasn't so pressured.
It was an easier conversation to have because, in fact, Investigator Bennett started to play the part of Katie Magbanawa, right?
I don't know what you mean by that,
Well,
sir.
she started to testify for you.
No, sir, she did not.
It wasn't mostly her talking and you saying yes?
No, sir.
Isn't it true that it wasn't until an hour and 16 minutes and 31 seconds into the second proffer where you were still continuing to say that you didn't become aware that this was going to be a murder until sometime between the first and second trips to Tallahassee?
Yes, sir. I told you it was very hard for me to admit my part in all of this. I'm sorry.
So 4 hours into your proffers, you were still saying that you didn't know the first trip was for a murder. That's fair to say, right?
Yes, sir.
Hey Boho, how you doing? See you later, riding shotgun. Thanks for coming. We are wrapping it up soon. Are we going to let this play out? There's nothing much going on. How much is left? 15 minutes. Well, I guess we can handle it.
All right, let's go on to a little different subject.
That'll bring us pretty much bang up to a fucking perfect 4 hours again without even looking at the clock. Expert.
You started dating Sigfredo Garcia just after high school.
Yes, sir.
By the time you broke up with him, you had been with Sigfredo on and off for more than a decade.
Yes, sir.
By the way, when you dated Charlie Adelson, he thought you were broken up with Sigfredo Garcia, right?
I was broken up with him.
Well, did you have sexual relations with Sigfredo Garcia while dating Charlie Adelson?
Yes, I did.
Charlie didn't know that, right?
I mean, that's not something I would tell him.
Now, you considered him to be your husband.
Yes, sir.
You met Charlie Adelson at work.
Yes, sir.
At a place called Sophie Dental.
Sophie Dental.
Sorry, Sophie Dental.
Yes, sir.
And that was in South Beach.
Yes, sir.
And you started dating in the middle of October of 2013.
In the middle of October? No, we started dating before that.
When did you start dating?
I don't recall the exact date, but it was definitely before October.
If I told you
September.
do you recall that your first date was at a restaurant kind of in the building?
I believe so, yes.
If I told you that the date of that was October 9th, would that refresh your recollection? Could
Yes,
that be
sir.
right?
Possibly, yes, sir.
Now, when you dated Charlie Adelson, he treated you well.
Yes, sir.
I think you said you didn't know he had money. You knew he had money.
I mean,
The Midnight Ballerina. What is that? You mean Katie? The bottle service girl. Yeah. They actually, liked each other. That was a real thing with feelings. You know, those things that people have. If you're not an Adelson, feelings. Those existed between Katie and Sigfredo. Turbulent.
He wasn't
Doesn't mean they don't care, does it?
very flashy with it. I know he was well off.
He took you to nice dinners.
Yes.
He wasn't very flashy, yeah, because on our second date he took me to Skyline Chili and paid with a 2-for-1 voucher. Coupon.
Sir?
That was different than your past relationship, right?
I've been in nice dinners with Sigfredo.
Shrimp, right, yeah. So Shrimp is the midnight ballerina, I get it, the stripper, yeah, okay. Nah, I think he was better off with Katie. They should have just stayed together.
Did Charlie treat you nicer than Sigfredo?
I wouldn't say that he treated me nicer at that time, yes, because I was going through a lot with Sigfredo.
Did Charlie ever lay hands on you?
No, sir.
Did Sigfredo?
We've gotten into arguments, yes.
One where he ripped off your necklace?
No, he's never ripped off any necklace of mine. No.
Now, at first...
but I did put his head through a glass pane window on our patio door, the full height window. His head went through. Does that count? But he did push me back, so that was assault. He assaulted me.
Charlie was the pursuer. Is that fair to say? He pursued you.
Yes, sir.
Over time, you became more serious.
I believe so.
And he made it clear to you over time, namely in the spring of 2014, that he didn't want anything different than casual, right?
I mean, I think we were both in agreement with that, yes.
But you had questions about it. You asked him, right?
I believe so.
And he told you, I like the way things are.
Yes, sir.
Now, Sigfredo came to know that you were dating Charlie, correct?
Yes, sir.
And during your second trial, you testified that you told Sigfredo about Charlie to make Sigfredo mad.
Probably.
You wanted to throw it in his face that you were dating a successful dentist, right?
That I was dating somebody, period, because I never really dated anybody after Sigfredo.
Sigfredo hated Charlie.
I mean, yes.
You told Charlie on one occasion, if you see him, run. Isn't that what you told him?
Not that I can recall now.
Is it possible that you told him that?
No, but he would be scared of Sigfredo, yes.
Sigfredo considered you the love of his life, right?
I believe so.
He made it clear to you that he wanted you back and didn't want you to be with Charlie, right?
It's not that he made it clear, but we were trying to work it out for our family.
Now, Charlie talks a lot, right?
Yes, he does.
And he repeats himself over and over.
Yes, sir.
As a traveling periodontist, he's in the car a lot for work, right?
Yes, sir.
And what does he do when he's in the car a lot? Talks on the phone?
Talk on the phone, yes, sir.
And he'd call you a lot on the phone, right?
He would at that time, yes.
And at that time, he would sometimes call you early in the morning, right?
Yes, sir.
He'd call you sometimes in his breaks at work.
Yes, sir.
He'd call you late at night.
Yes, we were dating.
Exactly. He'd talk to you a ton.
Yes, sir.
He talks to his mom a lot on the phone too, right?
I believe so.
Well, you witnessed it, right?
Yes.
You would be with him a lot when he would talk to his mom, right? On the phone.
Yes, sir.
And by the way, you talk on the phone a lot with Sigfredo Garcia, right?
Yes, sir.
And that makes sense because he's the father of your 2 children, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, in 2014, you became aware of Charlie's family issues, right?
Yes, sir.
You heard him talking on the phone a lot to his mom, right?
Yeah, he's always talking to his mom.
And also, when you guys would go out, as you know, Charlie likes to talk, right?
Yes, sir.
And so a topic of frequent conversation would be what he had just talked to his mom about, right?
No, he never told me what he was talking to his mom about.
No, so he never told you about the problems that his sister was having? He wouldn't recount those conversations that he was having with his mom?
Not when he's on the phone with his mom. Maybe if we're just, laying down or talking, he'd mention it once in a blue moon.
And you would ask him questions about it, right?
Not really.
He told you about this TV was cheaper than a hitman joke many times, right?
Yes, he's made that comment before.
And he repeated it to many people, right?
Yes, sir, he has.
He makes a lot of bad jokes, right?
Yes, he does.
Did you ever tell him, Charlie, why are you making that joke when we're actually hiring a hitman? Like, don't you think that's a bad idea? Did you ever say that to him?
No, because feels like he's untouchable.
No, because you really weren't hiring a hitman. He didn't know he was hiring a hitman, right? That's why you didn't tell him that, right?
He knew he was hiring a hitman.
So when he made that joke in front of Professor Lacoste on March 11th at Yardbird.
That he made that joke?
Yeah, you know he made the joke at that dinner, right?
I don't recall that, no, sir.
Okay.
Unless I was talking to Wendi and I didn't pay attention to what they were talking about.
Well, let's talk about that dinner a little bit on March 11th, just 6 weeks before the first attempt that in your proffers you didn't know about. You all ate outside on the patio?
Yes, sir.
And during this dinner, you and Wendi talked a lot about your exes, didn't you?
Not that we talked a lot about the exes. I always speak of my children, so I'm pretty sure I mentioned my kids and she mentioned her kids.
You didn't probe information from Wendi about her ex, and while you were that's why you brought up your exes, your ex?
No, sir. We did not talk about any exes.
Were you aware that Sigfredo and Luis Rivera were sitting in a car scoping you out?
I didn't know that until my trial.
Now, the state showed you a picture of you on the beach with Wendi Adelson.
Yes, sir.
No discussion about a murder plot during that.
No.
The jet ski incident, was Charlie scared?
Yes, sir.
Were you upset?
Of course.
Did it cause a whole string of text messages and fights between you and Sigfredo?
After that incident, yes.
You were afraid that Charlie was going to break up with you, right?
Not really.
Really, your text messages don't show that you were upset?
Yeah. I was sobbing. Every night I cried myself to sleep. Charlie Adelson was going to break up with me. I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine the sad... Oh, wait a minute. June. I was just going to imagine the sad person that would have to be. And we all know who that is. Fucking hell, she's still crying. June. Move on. It's like...
Charlie might break up with you? That Sigfredo was trying to run your life?
Well, I was upset, but I didn't really care if Harvey was going to break up with me or not.
Yeah.
Now, I want to take you to the week of the murder. And we'll start with July 14th. You had dinner with Charlie the night of July 14th, right?
Not that I can recall.
Oh, you don't recall having dinner with him the night of July 14th?
No, sir.
Are you sure you didn't have dinner with him the night of July 14th?
I can't recall. If you'd show me something.
Do you recall him working late and coming towards your house and meeting him at a place near the water on July 14th?
No, sir.
Well, let's do it this way. If you had dinner with him on July 14th, just 4 days before the murder,
Yes, sir.
did you pick up money from him at that point in time?
No, sir, because I don't even remember that dinner.
Assuming that the dinner happened,
Yes,
which I
sir.
think the state's going to prove.
Okay.
Did you pick up any money from him at that dinner?
No, sir. I don't even recall that dinner.
Fair enough. Do you recall having lunch with him on July 17th, the day before the murder?
No, sir.
Let me try to refresh your memory on this. Do you recall on July 16th that Charlie worked late and went out to dinner with Erica Johnson?
I can't recall.
Do you recall that you got in a fight with him that night because you thought he might be cheating on you?
No, sir, I don't recall it.
Do you recall that there are text messages in which you were upset that he was out so late? You don't recall that?
No, sir. Do you have something to show me?
I don't need to. Do you recall that he told you on that call that he had worked late, that he had gone out with Erica, and that he would have lunch with you the next day?
I don't recall any of those days, sir.
Do you recall that on the call on that night, the evening of the 16th, it's actually the very morning of the 17th, it's after midnight, that you were adamant that you wanted to have dinner with him on the 18th?
No, sir. I
don't remember
recall
that?
any of those days. That's why.
You don't remember that, it's fine.
Show me.
The answer is you don't remember that, right?
No, I can't recall.
I get to ask the questions,
Yes, sir.
okay?
Yes.
That's how this works.
Yes, sir.
Now, you went to lunch with him near his house. Do you recall that?
No, sir.
One moment.
Yes, sir.
Do you recall going to Vila's? It's like a Cuban-Mexican place right by Charlie's house.
I know of the restaurant, but I don't remember the date when we went, or, we've eaten there before, yes?
You don't recall going there the day before the murder?
No, sir.
Nonetheless, if you had been there, you didn't collect any money that day, right?
No, sir.
Do you recall that during that lunch, you got in a big fight?
During what lunch?
The lunch on the 17th that you don't remember.
How can I tell you what happened if I don't remember the date and you're not showing me anything?
Let's talk about after the murder. Isn't it true that Charlie Adelson gave you $138,000 the night of the murder, not $100,000?
I never counted the money.
Isn't it true that you were paid $3,000 every month?
Isn't it true that it was $138,231.76? Was it all in ones?
After?
That'd be good, wouldn't it? $100,000 in stapled ones. How big would that be? That'd be like the size of a car, right? Or maybe, I don't know, if 100,000 fits in like a big Jiffy bag, a Publix bag, then yeah, so you could do $100,000 in stapled ones, and it would only need to be 100 times bigger than that. So would be a pretty big suitcase, wouldn't it?
The murder?
No, sir.
Isn't it true that you told Charlie Adelson that a terrible thing had happened, your friend got an idea to do this, you didn't know anything about it, but you would help him?
Repeat that question, sir.
Isn't it true that you told Charlie Adelson that a friend of yours had done this, that you had talked too much, but that you would do everything you could to help Charlie Adelson?
No, sir.
Isn't it true that you told him that if he ever went to the police, these people would do to him and his family what they had done to Professor Markell?
No, sir.
If the state proves that for the next 20 months you received payments, does the state have it?
I mean, she might have counted it roughly in the stacks, in the $1,000 stacks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up to, what was her share? Flat 30, I think, right? At least initially. 30 stacks, or you can count 300 individual bills, $100 bills. Yeah. And I think that's something that if you've pulled off this thing and you've suddenly got $33,000 in your hand or whatever in cash, it feels kind of nice to count it, don't it? You know, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd count it all the time, multiple times a day. I'd start ironing it and feeding it. Bathing it.
Wrong?
That I receive payments?
For the next 20 months after July 18th. If the state proves, they're going to bring up a financial person who's going to show cash payments. When the state proves that, do they have it wrong?
No, because I deposited throughout every month.
The payments that Charlie were making to you?
No, what Sigfredo had given to me.
You know what the problem is with this question? The question in the poll is, did Wendi know about Katie's involvement before the murder happened? And I don't know what it was, but there was a similar question I asked that asked a question about Wendi knowing about something, this or that. I can't remember what it was. I think it was the license plate. I think it was Donna having the license plate of Dan Markel's car in the thing, and I brought up a question about that. And then someone took my question to be me saying that Wendi didn't know anything at all. I think some people maybe only half read a question and then they go, oh my God, he thinks Wendi is innocent. How can you get that from this? You can't.
Is it true that you were the
Wrap it
mastermind
up,
behind
Rash
Professor
Down.
Markel's murder?
No, sir. That was Charlie.
I'm sure it was.
I didn't have any information on Mr.
No,
Markel.
I'm sure it was.
Do not volunteer information.
Yes.
Wait for a question, respond accordingly to the question.
Sorry, Your Honor.
By the way, on these wires that we're going to hear, you're repeatedly lying to Charlie, right?
Repeatedly lying about what?
Well, you're telling him that you're calling the undercover number, right?
Yes, I lied.
You never called the undercover number.
No, because I was telling Sigfredo to call that number.
Ma'am, let me ask the questions.
I'm asking.
I know you have an agenda, but let me ask the questions.
Sustained. The jury to disregard the last comment about any agendas. Please continue.
He was such a dick. Anyway, that was not a good. I do believe that a lot of people miss Rashbaum in some way, but not because of his performance with Katie McBanower there. That was appalling and kind of misogynistic, don't you think? Feel some kind of disdain to women that he's expressing, which is probably true. Anyway, couldn't play Andrew, huh? Well, that sucks. Maybe I'll just have to transcribe the whole thing and I'll just read it out like I'm him. It's fun. It's fun. Anyway, Andrew, we got to say good night. Good night to the lawyers. Good night to the police. Good night to your big brother who sold you out for chicken change, man. Oh. Yeah, I mean, whether he goes to prison or not, right? His life is certainly as he knew it. And for someone who's lived in the way that he has and he doesn't have to think clearly because he's not well practiced in that, is he? But now, I mean, it's different. He might as well be dead as far as he's concerned, I think, you know. Even if he avoids jail, this is just not ever going to be out of his life. It'll be rolling around the courts until he's in his 70s, and then he's disgraced, dishonored, stripped of titles. What do you call it? Something of the garter, whatever it is. Royal crap. Yeah. But for the trouble he's in, only, you know, giving secrets, giving public, what is it? What's the charge? What is the fucking charge? A betrayal of public office. What is the word? It's not. I forget what it is, sorry. Anyway, talk about Ghislaine's all mashed up in prison. Jeffrey's on the floor with 2 in his head. Maybe. If that was him. And Andrew's all alone. Mum's gone. Mum's dead. Your brother never fucking liked you anyway. And, yeah. Who's going to come running? Fergie? I don't think so. Fergie's only nice to him when she's being kept sweet. Majorly sweet, right? It's all over now. I have a peculiar medical condition which makes it impossible for me to button a shirt all the way to the top. So it couldn't have been me. You can say anything that's a bad excuse. That photograph, it's actually a photograph of a photograph of a photograph. And it appears to be upstairs in Glenn's house. I never went upstairs. I didn't know there were stairs. And those are my fake arms. Those are my travel arms. Oh, he gave us so much for that interview. What a thing to be recorded. And he did it willingly, thinking that he would come off well and credible. And of course, he would have had minders all around him saying, do not do this. You're not the guy for this. Do not do this. We strongly advise you not to do this. He's just not, accustomed to taking advice from anyone, is he? He's fucking... Do you know the thing about the teddy bears? So, probably you do, but I'll repeat it anyway, just in case. Well, I guess it would have been Royal Lodge, the house that he was, the estate that he was evicted from. In his house, every day, on his bed, that would of course be made by maids, he had a ridiculous number. I forget the number, but it was something... If I were to say 96, maybe it was more. Maybe it was just into 3 digits. It was an extraordinary, ridiculous number. He had about 100, teddy bears, stuffed, cuddly toys, right? About 100. And they all had to be put back on the bed in a certain order, which he had sketched out, mapped out, with a legend key, color coding where each and every one of them went. That he would check daily and raise hell if even one of them was out of place. So can you see him being the kind of guy that says, yeah, I better listen to my minders and accept that I have no ability to do anything? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But yeah, my philosophy would be to all of them, every single one, up against the wall, motherfuckers. And with that cheerful note, we'll say good night. Thank you for coming. Thank you for chatting. Thank you for super chatting. Thank you for coffee cups. Thank you for the best goddamn moderators I've ever seen moderate anything ever. all at once. It's fucking amazing. That's great. And members. Great members. Metrix members. Those are nice as well. See you later. Oh, Corey Richards. So we will be doing nightly recaps. So join us again on True Crime Metrix, 9 o'clock tomorrow for Corey Richards. Day 1, trial, day 1, recap, 9 o'clock sharp Eastern. Adios.